Hey everybody, in this video we are going to do examples 15 and 16 you see on your screen right now. So we are asked to calculate the remaining trig functions of theta to satisfy the given conditions. The given conditions are sine of theta equals -5 over 13. So immediately I know sine is negative in the bottom two quadrants. And theta is in quadrant 3. Pretty nice that they tell us that it's in quadrant 3. That means I'm going to draw my reference triangle in quadrant 3. Sine opposite over hypotenuse, and the 5 is the negative number because the hypotenuse is never negative and 5 is going down. This is a Pythagorean triple, 5, 12, 13, which we all should have memorized. This then would be -12 because we're going left 12. That's their right angle. And then beautiful, we have Pythagorean triple, we have everything labeled, and we can find the remaining 5 trig functions. So that means I already have sine, so I have cosine would be adjacent over hypotenuse. I have tangent, which would be opposite over adjacent, and a negative over a negative becomes positive. I have cosecant, which is the reciprocal of my given one, so it's -13 over 5. Don't lose the negative, so careful smushing it. Then we have secant, which is the reciprocal there, so it's -13 over 12, and then we have cotangent, and that is the reciprocal of 5 over 12, which is 12 over 5. It's in quadrant 3, so you could always double check like which trig should be positive in quadrant 3. The only one that should be positive there is tangent, whether you use all students take calculus or whatever other method you have to figuring out which trig functions are positive and or negative in which quadrant. So everything is done here. That's the end of that example. If you don't know your Pythagorean triples, I highly recommend you make the time to memorize them. And if not, it's just you're gonna have to use Pythagorean theorem. Next, same exact situation, except this time we are given secant theta equals -13 over 3, and tan is less than 0. So now instead of them outwardly telling us what quadrant we're in, they're giving us another clue for us to use process of elimination to figure out the quadrant ourselves. Additionally, it's not a Pythagorean triple, at least considering the fact that it's got a radical, it can't be a triple. So it's not a Pythagorean triple, so we have to use Pythagorean theorem. Radical 13 squared will be just 13. 3 squared is 9, so careful you don't get a little mixed up over there. And then I dropped my pen. Oh, here. Okay. So let's go. So secant is positive. Well, secant is going to be positive in the same place that why is it going back in? Secant theta is positive the same place that, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with that pen. Positive as cosine, and cosine goes with x, so secant is positive in these two quadrants right here. Tan is negative. Well, tan is positive in these two, so tan is negative in these two. So that means that we're going to draw our triangle in quadrant 4. Secant is hypotenuse over adjacent, so root 13 over 3. Right angle, reference angle. 3 squared plus, I'm going to call it y because it's the y direction, squared equals root 13 squared. That's 9 plus y squared is 13. Subtract 9, y, I'm going up, I don't know why. Y squared is 4. Y is really plus minus 2, -2, -2, -2, -2. You're going to get a full multiple choice question wrong if you don't put the negative. I promise. And now we're going to find the remaining trig ratios. So sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse. -2 over root 13, -2 root 13 over 13 once rationalized, and then cosecant theta is root 13 over -2, pull the negative to the top. Cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, so 3 root 13 over 13, because I rationalized it already. Secant, well, that's already given. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, -2 over 3. Isn't this almost the exact same as the one above it? Yeah, like number 14. Almost the same, just a little flip-flopped, right? And that makes cotangent -3 over 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the 6th one right there. And that's the end. So if you got it, great, good. Lost the negative, don't do that next time. Thumbs up, check the playlist. questions, comments, concerns, requests, put it in the comment section. Next up, in the next video, I'm going to do the next two examples, determine which quadrant satisfies the given conditions. That should be pretty quick and easy. And the one under it, I mean, come on, we should know the unit circle, and filling that out should feel like a little treat in life, you know? So that's the end. See you later.